Episode 1. Depression, Guilty Feeling, Full Treatment. In this episode, we will treat the following diseases: guilt, a feeling of your wrongness, guilty conscience or feeling of conscience, sense of responsibility, a sense of duty. So the treatment of all these feelings in this episode. If you feel one or more of these symptoms, then you are in the right place. This therapy works like a pill. Listen to this episode 2-3 times a day for 2-3 weeks, and the previously mentioned diseases will be cured. This takes effect gradually and not immediately. This will be felt in 2 weeks and the full effect will be about 2 months later. This audiotherapy restores the normal functioning of your subconsciousness. This therapy is specifically designed for direct treatment of the subconscious mind. Therefore, there are many repetitions of the same idea. It works that way. This is something like a thought exercise, and these examples are for thinking. Now we are starting. First, let's give the correct names to these phenomena. Let's call them the right way. There are no situations in nature where you are guilty. There is no guilty situation in being. Whatever happens, you can't be wrong. Whatever happened, there is no guilt. You cannot be guilty. It is impossible to make a mistake in existence. There is no fault in any combination of circumstances. Any development of events is correct. Any turn of events is correct. Whatever it is correct. Any movement you make is correct. Every word you say is correct. Imagine this situation. Someone is asking for your help, or your friend asks you to do something for him. If you agree, it will be correct. If you refuse, it will be correct. Any turn of events is correct. Whatever you do, it is correct. Whatever you say, it is correct. Imagine this situation. You promised your friend to do something for him, and you didn't keep your promise. You are correct. Whatever you do, you are correct. If you kept your promise, then you are right. If you didn't keep your promise, you are right. Any development of events is correct. Any action you take is correct. Any movement you make is correct. Whatever you do, it is correct. It is impossible to make a mistake in being. Being is a random sequence of events, and whatever happens is correct. Everything you have done, you can't turn the event back. That event is already part of being. And the only way out is to call it the right way. Everything that has already happened is correct. Being is correct. What exists, it already exists. There are rocks and trees, and their existence is correct. They just exist. Also, the existence of any of your actions is correct. There is nothing right or wrong in being. There is nothing good or bad in being. Being is not defined by these words. Being is a flow of random events, and whatever direction it goes, it's correct. Whatever form it takes, it is correct. Whatever event happens, it is correct. Being is always correct. Any movement you make in being, you can't be wrong. because there is no possibility to make mistakes. Being is made in such a way that there is no possibility to make mistakes in it. It is exactly as it is. These words, guilt, wrongness, mistakes, don't describe being. Forget those words. The only word that describes existence is correctness. There are mountains, forests, the oceans, the rocks and trees, and they do exist. You and any of your actions also exist. This law of existence applies to you as well. Correctness is the only description of existence. We get rid of illusions in your subconsciousness. In your subconsciousness, there is an illusion that keeping a promise is correct and not keeping a promise is incorrect. We get rid of this image. The correct thing is what you did in one way or another. It doesn't matter how you acted. It has already happened. And what has already happened, it is correct. Especially things that happened with your participation, my friend. Things have already happened. You can't turn them back. And the only way out is to mark them correctly. So it's not your fault at all. I am telling you the truth. Another example. You stepped on someone's foot. It is correct. You didn't step on someone's foot. It is correct as well. Any course of events is correct. You didn't break the cup. It is correct. You broke the cup. It is correct. You refused someone. It is correct. You helped someone. It is correct. You didn't help someone. It is correct. You didn't lie to someone. It is correct. You lied to someone. It is correct. Any event in being is correct. Any action you take in being is correct. You were right all along. You have done everything right, all this time. You just found out about it. Remember your childhood. All that you once did was correct. You said something wrong, it was correct. You insulted someone, it was correct. You gave the wrong information, it was correct. This has already happened. You can't turn it back. It is already part of existence. Don't divide things into right or wrong, good or bad. These words do not describe the existence. Life is a flow of random events. In existence, it is impossible to make a mistake. No matter what you do, you can't be wrong. Forget that word. Get rid of that word once and for all. Life is a flow, and it is always correct. All your actions are also a flow, and they are also correct. Life is more like the flow of the wind rather than the words. Whatever direction that flow goes, it's correct. Someone is calling you. If you answer the phone, it will be correct. If you don't answer the phone, this will also be correct. You were asked a question. If you answer, you are correct. If you don't answer, you are correct. Your friends call you. If you go, you are correct. If you don't go, you are correct. You should have been at school. If you are in school, you are correct. If you are not in school, you are correct. You were asked a question. If you are telling the truth, you are correct. If you are lying, you are correct. If you don't answer at all, you are correct anyway. Absolutely any movement you make in being, it is correct. Any word you say in being, it is correct. In being, there is no possibility to be wrong. You promised your friend, if you keep a promise, you are correct. If you don't keep your promise, you are correct anyway. You go to the left, you are correct. You go to the right, you are correct anyway. No need to argue. You are just right. Existence is correct. Remember your childhood. Your every movement, behavior, word, and action was correct. Any decision you made was correct. In existence, it was impossible to make a mistake. By accepting this idea, you will get rid of guilt. By listening carefully to this therapy, you will be completely cured. Now imagine this situation. During the conversation, you accidentally insulted the other person, and it happened by accident. Being isn't predictable, and whatever happens, it's not your fault. If your friend is not offended during the conversation, you are correct. If your friend gets offended during the conversation, you are correct. It is not your fault. Keep repeating it in your mind. Whatever I do, I can't be wrong. Whatever I say, I can't be wrong. Everything I did in being, I did right. There is no wrongness in being. Everything that exists, it is correct. Each of my actions is a part of existence, and it is correct as existence. Repeating is the ticket. Now imagine this situation. You are in the store, in a clothing store, where prices are fixed, prices are final, and you ask the seller to lower the price. But in this store, prices are constant, but you are asking for a lower price. Now, you are correct. If you don't ask for a lower price, you are correct. If you ask for a lower price, you are correct. Maybe the seller will say, sorry, I can't, or sorry, that's not possible. It doesn't matter what she says. What matters is that any of your words are correct. I want you to understand one simple thing. Whatever you do, you are innocent. Any turn in this being is right. Any move in this being is right. Any turn of events is correct, whatever direction it goes. Naturally, you are innocent. You cannot be wrong in this being. It is impossible. Understand this. Forget that word. Forget all that kind of words. Wrong, guilt, mistakes, wrongness, and so on. Forget them all. Once and for all. Remember all the wrong situations in your life and give them the right name. Call them the right way. Situations where you thought you were wrong. Call them by their real name. Correctness is the real name of these. Being is one big correctness inside which you move. You broke your neighbor's flower pots? This is part of correctness. You stole someone's shoes? This is part of correctness. You have offended someone? This is part of correctness. Existence is always correct. Life is a flow of events, and any direction of flow is correct. So don't worry. All this time you just didn't know the truth. Life is a flow, but not words and concepts. Forget all the concepts you were taught as a child. Forget every idea you knew as a child. Another example. You are visiting a friend at his house or her house, and you broke a cup there, or overturned the shelves, or broke something expensive, or insulted someone there, or lied to someone there, or stepped on someone's foot, and so on. You were making another movement in being. Correctness is the real name of being. Whatever happens, it's being. Every situation is a part of being. Correctness is their only name. All your actions have been part of this correct existence all this time. You were right all along. Periodically listening to these examples, the correct functioning of your subconscious mind will be restored. I repeat the same idea many times because this is the only way to influence the subconsciousness and correct it. So keep repeating it in your mind. Everything I did was correct. Everything I did was correct. Being is correct. Whatever direction it goes, it's correct. Any movement I make in this being is correct. Any word I say in this being is correct. Correctness is the only name of all my actions. Any action made by my hands is correct. Don't let a false concept spoil your feelings. As a child, you were told that you might be wrong, that you might be guilty. Don't let the illusion control your mind. Get rid of all kinds of illusions. You are lying to someone, you are correct. You stepped on someone's foot, you are correct, and so on. More examples. You stole something as a child, or you took something from a friend and didn't return it, and now you feel guilty for it. Then start repeating it in your mind. Everything that has happened already and will happen in the future is always correct. There is no wrong situation in being. There is no guilty situations in being. Whatever I do, I cannot be guilty. Whatever I do, I cannot be wrong. By repeating these true ideas, you will get rid of obsessive feelings of guilt or wrongness. And the truth will be restored in your subconsciousness. No matter how you shake your life, there is no possibility of being wrong or being guilty. You are always clean. Find your individual example. Find the situation where you felt guilty or wrong or responsible. Remember that situation and use the technique I mentioned. All your actions and words are part of the flow of being. Imagine that a river flows. It just flows. There are no words. There is no concept. Water flows and that's it. There is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. And your actions flow the same way. All your actions flow within being, like the flow of water. There are no words. There is no guilt. There is no wrongness. Don't argue. Just feel. Feel the flow. Life flows like water. Try to feel it. Flow of life. No words, no arguments, only the flow. For 1 minute, forget all the words and arguments. Feel the existence. Feel how it flows. Existence is a flow, not words or arguments. There are no words in it. There are no arguments in it. It exists as it is. And it accepts all your actions, accepts all your words, all your movements. Existence accepts everything you have done, accepts them as they are. It accepts you for who you are. There is no guilt or wrong in existence. There are no such words in it. For a moment, forget all the words you know and feel a light flow of existence, an existence that accepts you. your every move, your every turn, every event that you created. Existence accepts them all. Existence loves you for who you are, loves all your actions, all your movements, all your words. It always loved you. All your actions, movements, give them to existence. Give them as a gift, with love in your heart. Let it take everything you have done, and try to feel how happy it is from your gift. All your actions and movements you give to Him. All this time it has accepted you as you are, being accepted you, and loved you. You just didn't know about it. You haven't been guilty all this time. You haven't been wrong all this time. You have not been guilty since the day you were born. Everything you will do from this day on, existence will cover your back. Wherever you are, whatever you do, try to feel this flow of correctness around you. Try to feel how it protects your feelings. There is a flow of correctness around you. Try always to feel it. Now, let's continue our examples. Imagine that someone called you and you heard it, but you didn't go. She called you louder, and you continued to stand still. This is no longer a secret. You are correct. You already know that. They ask you a question. If you want to answer it, then answer it. If you don't want to answer it, then don't answer it. If you want to lie, then lie. Any course of events is correct. You are always correct. They ask you a question, and you are silent. You are asked a question again, but you remain silent. Whichever way you lead the event, it is correct. You can just leave the conversation in the middle and walk away. Someone is talking to you and you are interrupting. This event is correct. There is nothing wrong with this event. Any event is correct. Please understand. You are talking to someone and without finishing the conversation, you just leave. You already know the answer. Whatever form the situation takes, it is always correct. You can start laughing during the conversation. You can start crying during the conversation. You can stop talking at any time. You can tell them this conversation is stupid. You can get rid of all your friends, and so on. Fully use your imagination. Each of you has your own individual situations. Create your own examples using the following tools. Your first tool is your imagination. Use your imagination as much as possible. Now, we already know that absolutely all cases in existence, they are correct. What does it mean? I will give a few more examples so that you understand exactly how it works. If you feel obligated, then no. There is no such concept as obligation. If you feel responsible for something, then no. There is no such concept as responsibility. Nothing is your responsibility. Don't listen to anyone. They don't know the truth. You stay awake at night and sleep during the day, you are correct. It doesn't matter what others say. Others don't know the truth. Someone told you that you are selfish. Let's find out if you are selfish or not. You didn't fit their expectations. and they call you selfish, then no, their expectation is selfish. Someone who calls you selfish, he is selfish. He just doesn't know about it. He would never say, "Something is wrong with my expectations, I'm sorry, my friend." He will never know that his mind is infected with different images that he wants you to match. There is no such concept as selfishness. This is a made-up concept. The one who created this word obviously didn't know the truth about existence. Existence is not words. But if you want to use that word, selfishness, then use it the right way. Selfishness is correct. Any selfish action is correct. Be aware, there is no such thing as a selfish act. You can't be selfish in being. But if you want to use that word, then selfishness is correct. Any selfish movement is correct. Any selfish word is correct, and so on. Do it with all the words that bother you. Someone told you that you are sentimental. Then sentimentality is correct. Crying is correct. Crying is a biological process. Of course, we will destroy all the reasons that make you cry. But if there are people here who didn't know it, crying is a biological process, and it is the same for women and men. If you call yourself not a real man, or I'm not a real man because I'm crying, then be aware, crying is correct. But of course we will destroy all the reasons that make you cry. There is no such image as real man or real woman. All concepts are vague. Disassemble each word as I showed. Words do not describe being. Words do not describe you. Don't try to describe yourself in words. Then all the words will be wrong. They are already wrong. You exist the way you exist, and whatever you do is correct. Correctness is the only word that describes you. You were born as a king. You decide how to live. Listen to this episode 2-3 times a day for 2-3 weeks. This is a complete course. This takes effect gradually and not immediately. Thank you for listening to this audio therapy. If you want to help this project, you can make your donations. And the best help you can give this project is to listen to it and be treated. Have a nice day.